What up, gamers? It's Thomas from SMB back at you again with a fresh new upload. I didn't get a chance to record one yesterday about the crazy face ripper we had Friday the 13th, the face ripper of the 13th. That was sick. That was awesome. I am kind of bummed I didn't really trade very aggressively, honestly. I've gotten slapped so many times now. I was just like kind of waiting for a rug pull, which we sort of kind of got one here midday. I'll go to SPY. And that was really the only trade I took besides the one that I'm going to swing next week, was a SPY put. And I had the right idea. For about an hour and a half, or no, it was like 3.5 hours basically. SPY just did nothing. Like it literally just kept going up just slowly. So I did grab a call. Of course, I sold it, and it would have just gone all day. So that sucks. And then we just like melted up. And then I was waiting to see for the retest of this level here at 403, which we did retest it, and we rejected it hard. And if I was watching more carefully for that, I was just kind of convinced it was just going to be such a choppy day. I saw the rejection. I saw it held the AMA and was going back up there, but then that rejected, and then we kind of just nosedive there for a little bit. And that was like, it was super low volume today, too. Very, very, like, disturbingly low volume. Very bizarre. Super bizarre. Can't really control that, but that was kind of giving me iffy vibes. So of course, we get this rug pull, and then we start forming this like rising channel here, and it's like a textbook bear flag, like almost textbook what it was doing here. Like if you get a big pull down and you get this like upward trajectory, just kind of bouncing around upwards, you look for the breakout of the next support line, and it just never happened. We got to break out to the upside. So we got this like it was a bizarre, like I've never really seen SPY do something like this. Not to say that I like blame what SPY did. Like it was my fault. I bought a put like right here when I saw this big red candle. It's like, oh man, we're making, especially on like the 1 minute chart. I mean, you look at like the 1 minute chart, and it was like a super clear, like I've seen this a million times. And I've just been cheesed so many times on SPY on these green days where it's like it just goes green, 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 and then it sells off. So, of course, being it was a Friday too, we haven't had like a green Friday like this in literally months. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I had that put, and I just did not sell it soon enough. I waited way too long, way too long. I was thinking, but then I've done that too, where I bought a put and I'm too early, so I was just like too much like, this has happened in the past, it'll probably happen again, but then it never did. So I was just kind of waiting for the rug pull, because it's the worst when you like see SPY come down and then you see it doing this choppy action, and it looks like it's getting ready for the next leg down, but we didn't get that. We got the next leg up. So it sucks when you see that and you buy a put, but you're too early and you sell it, and then it does end up going down. And then especially when I was already like huge green on Nvidia for the day, I didn't want to just like watch the account P&L just go straight back to zero. So I wanted just a put to protect, but then the put did way more damage than good. I mean, if it kept going down, it would have been great, but it just took a way too big of a hit on that. I should have sold. I just held, but I'm not like terribly mad about it. It was a really great setup. I mean, it was like a bear flag, but then it's one of those things where it's like today I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, of course yesterday was just gonna stay green all day. There was no stopping it. Of course that's what was gonna happen. I'm an idiot for even trying to buy puts. I should have just been loading up on everything, but I kind of froze up. I wasn't really, I don't know. I'm just like, I've just been seeing it so. I mean, 6 red weeks in a row. I've seen this happen too many times where you get these green days and they immediately just get yanked down, and I just did not want to get absolutely cheesed on it. I had a QQQ call that I ended up selling for a nice amount. So we did make money on the day. I mean, I made like 150 off of that, and I gave like $100 back on the SPY put, so that sucked. So we did do something. I was in the very, very right on that QQQ call, so that was awesome. I didn't go big size because I don't know. The market now, I remember, for those of us that can remember 2 years ago, this time 2 years ago when everyone and their mothers was like, yeah, the stock market's going to crash. There's no way. COVID, it's this new, there's this plague. It's going to kill everyone. Who the hell is going to work? But it didn't do that. It went straight back up. And now it's literally the opposite. Now it's like Oh, inflation's not that bad. It's not gonna go down. Like it feels like the exact same thing, but it's like it feels like, oh no way, inflation's not gonna yank everything down so hard, everything's so strong, but then it does. So buying calls now feels as stupid as it felt buying puts back in 2020. Like, and it's literally the chart is doing exactly what it did in 2020, but the opposite. Like you look at the Nasdaq, it's like this is what it did back in 2020, shot down and shot back up, and now we're just like shooting down, shooting down, shooting down, and just no sign of life. But I feel like here we got a super nice weekly candle, this big long wick to the downside. So that tells us we did sell off hard, but then today on Friday we closed the week strong. So there were buyers that came in on Friday or yesterday, even though it was weak buying volume. It is still a pretty bullish candle in my opinion, and we got the so SPY bounced right off, and I mean Nasdaq bounced right off 385 too. But SPY bounced off 385 perfectly, literally perfectly, the bottom of this candle, and then QQQ bounced off 285. So that's kind of weird how that's happening. But I think for the very short term, um, considering we haven't had a Friday where things have actually been going up and they didn't sell off by the end of the day, that hasn't happened in literally months. So that was awesome. And I think that tells me that there will be at least some upside for maybe a week, maybe. But I'm sick of missing these upside moves. So I got into some nice Facebook calls. I really like to set up on Facebook. So 2 days ago, I had that huge put that was awesome, where I saw we broke this level. I waited for the retest. We rejected and we came down. Well, on Friday, what do? We broke that level, came up, and then it did literally the opposite. And I was so mad. I was just, I don't know why I missed these, but it did the opposite, but to the upside. So I saw this break and I thought, oh shit, I missed the move. I thought about buying a call here, but I was like, nah, I'll wait for a retest. What do? We come down, we retest it, bounce off, and then calls would have printed. So literally that level is money. So I like that we closed strong above that level, and then at the end of the day, we came back and retested that level and bounced off it hard. So that tells me that level is now a strong support for now. I think Facebook will break 200. That was the peak of the day, was 200. Facebook bounced off of it. So when you see that kind of consolidation, when you see a level broken, you see it retested, you see it bounces up to another key level 200, and then it comes back down to that previous level that it tested, and now that level of support, that would lead you to believe that the next retest of 200 should be a break, at least a somewhat bullish break. So I am really going big on Facebook puts or calls today, or for Monday, and I did grab one Nasdaq put to hedge myself. I don't know what people like wearing on the weekends, but I don't like going into the weekends naked. I want to be covered up and at least have something to save my ass in case you never know over the weekend. God knows, Russia can launch a nuke. Like you just never know. You cannot go into a mega bullish position in this market without any kind of hedge. I've been doing it, and it's just been getting me ass raped and ass raped and ass raped. So, rape. You can't say that on YouTube. Whoops. So I grabbed a little tiny cheeky put for 150 bucks. Our Facebook calls, we have $900 worth of them. So if I'm money on those and those double, then this put wouldn't even matter. It'll take a little bit, tiny bit of profit, but I am paying for some protection. You got to pay for a little protection in this market where any amount, there's only bad news can come out at this point. Only bad news. There's not going to be any good news. It's not like over the weekend, oh, inflation's done. It's only going to be worse and worse and worse. But I think at this point we got news from last weekend that Powell, or no, when was that? Powell said something about, no, we're still going to do 50 basis point hikes, 2 of them for the next 2 meetings. He said the soft landing isn't looking very likely, so bad news, bad news, bad news. And fear just feels like panic it's peaking up there. It's getting up there. I think we, just from a technical standpoint, have to get a bounce before the next leg down. I'm not going to see a 10% bounce in the NASDAQ and be like, oh shit, everything's good, buy everything. I'm gonna wait and see if the Nasdaq can break back over 370. And yeah, I know 370. How's that gonna happen? But if I see that, then I'm bullish on the Nasdaq. Otherwise, I am taking every little short-term bounce and taking my money off the table and gonna wait for the next opportunity. So that's how I'm playing next week. I'm really bullish. Calling this one the return. Stock Wars Episode 6, Return of the Bull. I think we can get some momentum finally. There are just a shocking number of stocks that are down 90%, dude. 90%. And then we have these stocks like Affirm that jumped 30% in a day. So you're seeing some crazy short covering. This is just wild short covering action that we got on Friday. So there are so many shorts in this market now. Everything is so heavily shorted that any bit of bullish momentum will get those shorts to cover. They're not going to give all their profits back. They've been Imagine you shorted Coinbase at 150 and it breaks back up to 100. You're not going to wait and see. You're going to take your profits. I mean, people are just loaded to the freaking tits in shorts. So I really like some upside for next week, and I really like Facebook to be that upside. I think the stocks that people are gonna want to be in are gonna be the ones that climb, and I think Facebook will climb. Jeez, they're down enough, and they're a cash cow. I mean, they're gonna be fine in this if we get a recession. They're not gonna go out of business. They're not gonna. And the metaverse stuff, that stuff all is still even yet to be priced in. Like, who even knows what's gonna happen there? But so Facebook to the upside. I really like it. I think we got a little bit of a double bottom here at 185. We bounce off 185 here, bounce off it there. We got two bounces. Now, obvious next key level 200 to 201, and then we have a gap to fill above that, just slight little tiny gap, and then another gap up here. So Facebook we could see 10% bounce in Facebook, and if that were to happen, I mean, jeez, let's look at this. So I'm gonna do a little calculation. If I can get to these Facebook calls, where are they? Little calculation here. 205 delta on these are delta is about 30 cents. So I got 3 of them. Let's see. Get the calculator out. 30 times 3 equals 90 times 20. So, I mean, these calls could triple if we go to 220. And not saying that's going to happen. It's not going to happen in a day, but these are really short calls. They're a week out. So I am going... That's why I got a week out. Usually a week out's super risky, but I'm thinking this momentum's going to be... It's going to be very, very short-lived, and it's going to be very, very fast. So why pay for more time if I think it's going to happen immediately? If I were to pay for like a month out time, my gains would be smaller. And then if things didn't work out, I'd be more so trying to rationalize. I notice I do that. I try to rationalize and be like, well, I bought the time. There's still time. I could wait and see. But then you wait and see, and it gets worse and worse. And yeah, not doing that. I'm going to get my friggin' coin and get the hell out. And if it goes tits up, I got a QQQ put. That'll probably triple if the Qs go back to 290. So, I'll at least not completely lose my ass, but I think the risk to reward is there. I really do. I know just one day the NASDAQ goes up 3.5%, so I know these moves are fast and violent to the upside. But, yeah, that's what we're looking at. So, I nibbled a little more NVIDIA at 179, or 177 actually. So we're nibbling more NVIDIA. We got a big position in NVIDIA, real big one. Got that P&L, boys. Nice, yay. Terrible. Yeah. What do we got? We got about 8,000 in NVIDIA, and then the 1 share of Google. But dude, 6 red weeks in a row. 6 red weeks in a row, dude. There's got to be at least 1 green week in a row. I mean, if even to the upside, I'd be saying this. You cannot have 6. Uh-oh. Nope, don't buy that. You cannot have. Why do I even have that open? God. You cannot have 6 green weeks in a row and not be expecting. I mean, and not just green weeks. I mean, it happened this past year, of course, because the last year was a meme market. But even here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a red week. Over here, this was probably the longest streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green weeks before you got a red one. But this was back in like it was this time last year where it was just complete and utter euphoria. There could be nothing bad that could possibly pull the NASDAQ down. But even during the COVID bounce, I mean, there was no stretch where we got 6 green weeks without a pullback. Like they just gotta happen. They gotta happen. It can only sell off for so long. It's got to, and I'm still like on the macro scale. I still think we're going down further. My bottom for the Nasdaq, I'm thinking is 260. I'm thinking that and that's another thing I noticed when I was peering through my Nasdaq chart. Yeah, we still have a gap to fill down here. So we have a gap from 280 down to 277 basically. So just noticed that. So I figured that's probably gonna get filled before this recession's over. Yeah, but that's basically all I got for you guys today. Huge, crazy face ripping day. It was super exciting. I was stunned. Like Nvidia, uh, Nvidia's got a really nice looking. It's looking ready for a bounce. We got this doji here at the bottom, and when you get the, I mean, it's happened before where you get a doji at the bottom and it doesn't reverse, but you see a really long-legged doji that was from Thursday, and then a huge green day after that. You're looking like it's reversal time. So Nvidia got to break 180 next key level. Also has just endless gaps to fill to the upside. Uh, yeah, all these gaps to the upside. If the market does flip bullish for just a week and all these gaps we have, I mean, it's going to be a crazy week. Very crazy. When the lows are extreme, the highs are also extreme. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Looking forward to Monday. Peace.